no one a pre-principal.
This is a slaughterhouse. From Seymour to my beloved mother Stella. Fishburne, that sneaky bastard. It's locked, all right. Good evening, Mr. Fishburne.
Yeah.
I have retrieved the gift for your mother, sir.
Great. Give it here then and take this for your trouble.
I also found the corpses. The ones under which you left the necklace, Mr. Fishburne.
Ah, so that's where I left it. I can be a bit stupid sometimes.
As a man of science, I'd like to try to understand why you killed those people.
Why does there need to be a reason? They were just there. It happened. That's all.
You're not a mindless animal, Seymour. Surely you have something to say about these murders. Speak up and I will listen without judgment.
Could be right, Dr. Reed. Maybe it'll do some good to confide in a gentleman like you. You being educated and all.
Tell me about your victims, Seymour. Who were they? Why them? Was there a link?
Why should there be? They just kept getting on my nerves at the worst times, that's all.
How many? How many victims?
It's not like I keep records. It happens when it happens.
You feel nothing, do you? No empathy for your victims at all?
You seem pretty calm yourself, don't you?
We're not talking about me.
That right? Well, our calm's the only thing we have in common then.
Did you take pleasure in killing them, Seymour? All those people, all those lives extinguished.
I take no pleasure from it. Just gives me peace. Stills the anger. For a time.
This rage you feel, have you ever been able to control it? Resist it?
I tried. For my mum, I tried for her. Telling the truth made me feel better. For a while.
Don't you think you should seek help? Talk to someone you trust, someone who cares about you.
No. And don't dare speak about me to your colleagues either. Keep your mouth shut tight. Especially about my mum.
Why is your mother protecting you, Seymour?
I'm her son. She's the only one who knows me. Sometimes I think she knows me better than I know myself.
I understand you love her, but can't you see the awful situation you've put her in?
Do you think my mum would have a better life if I were dead? She seems so sad to know me sometimes.
I understand your mother's situation. Obtaining justice at the price of betraying her own flesh. It's quite a dilemma.
It might be my mum's wish that I end up swinging from a hangman's noose, but she wouldn't want to be the one who ties a knot round my neck.
Goodbye, Miss. Evening, Rufus.
Evening, Mr.
So long.
So love to gaze at the stars. The fog's been hiding them of late.
Good evening, Mrs. Fishburne. May I come in, please?
Of course, Dr. Reid. I'm not sure the epidemic is what worries people most. What can I do for you, Dr. Reid?
Your son's gone way beyond simply bullying people. He has a taste for blood, and you know it, don't you, Stella?
One night, he told me straight up, in his own words. It was several days after one of his episodes.
Why did he confess? Did you suspect something?
No. I guess he wanted his old mum to help him fight his, demons.
Did Seymour tell you everything that night?
More than I could stand. The words he used to describe his hate, his rage, how he feels when he's done it.
Stella, I know you are ashamed of your son's crimes. So why do you protect Seymour?
I can't report my own son, can I? Not a burden I could bear.
Burden? How do you mean?
They'd hang him for sure. I won't send my only son to his death.
I understand your pain, but you cannot mother him forever.
If someone ever found the courage to speak to the police, I will take my share.
Tell me about these demons Seymour needs your help to fight.
Seymour used to be such a happy child, and he is still a helping son most of the time. But when he gets angry, he can hardly contain his rage.
All men and women are born innocent, Mrs. Fishburne. But there can be a monster within any of us.
Do you think he can be cured, Doctor? Do you think something can extinguish this rage inside my Seymour?
Science has only just begun to investigate the mysteries of the human mind. Currently, we have more assumptions than fact.
There ain't no hope then. Somehow, somewhere, my son has turned into a monster, and nothing will bring him back.
Goodbye, Miss...
I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been...
No civilians allowed, sir. Stupid beast! Fight for this!
Giselle's stolen money. Priwen has some unethical ways of financing their war.
Glad to see you.
Goodbye, Miss Pat.
You again? What do you want?
I've identified the men who stole from you. You were right. They were members of some self-proclaimed militia.
I knew it! Did you find the money too?
Yes, here it is. They thought they could finance their activities with it.
I never thought a man like you would be kind enough to... I misjudged you. Badly. Well, thank you, sir.
Will you give the money back to your comrades, then?
Fuck those bastards who fired me. I'll give the money to Miss Gillingham. Her son Jack was a friend of mine. He was killed recently.
I know you were friends with Miss Gillingham's son, Jack. Tell me about his death.
Jack's murder has been a shock to the neighborhood. A sign that the situation is now out of control.
Why is that?
There has always been tension between the Wet Boot Boys and members of the trade union. But a murder? That's a first.
Who killed him?
No one will ever know. One thing is certain. While Jack was alive, I had one less reason to drink.
Why does that upset you so much?
I wish I had found the time and words to tell him how important he was to me before it was too late. Another failure for Giselle Paxton.
Well, I'll leave. Good evening, Doctor. Goodbye. Informing London's inhabitants of the presence of vampires. What does that make me? A double or a triple agent?
Watch out, boys! Keep short,
Done. Mr. Throgmorton should be happy. Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
I put up your public service announcement. Consider the common folk warned about the vampiric presence.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. You may not realize it, but you saved a great many lives today.
Do you really think they could be useful?
See the sad saint of the East End? How a single man can help so many people? I consider myself the discreet protector of these men and women.
Tell me, Ichabod, why do you consider yourself the protector of Sean Hampton's shelter?
He is a truly inspiring example. Dedicated, pious. His shelter is open to all, whoever they are. Most admirable.
Goodbye.
There's safer places to be than here. Better go home. Steady, boys. Want some of this? I'll take it. It's an each! Kill it! Christ! He's dead!
It's locked, all right. 29 Pretty Orchard Street. This is it. What's in there for me? There's been a fight here. This window was shattered with violent force. Someone's been pulled through it and dragged through the street. Who could have done that?
Step away! And you get it! Come on! It's Watch it!
To be found here.
You're surprising. Occasionally, you make a good point.
How's that?
We're being misled. Or worse. He's mine! I'll take it!
Roll back to the hell! That's barred you! Look at it, vicious beast.
Shut! Step away! Stupid beast! Look lively! He's on to us! Oh, Christ!
Why drag the poor wench across all these streets to let...
You get them!
He's too fucking fast! Oh my god!
I have this thirst for blood. The marks on this woman's neck were made by the fangs of a vampire. Only a golden watch in her pockets. Her shoes and clothes are quite worn out. This is the very flower my mother tossed on Mary's coffin. Someone is targeting my family.
I see you.
Right then. It's a sick game. But given no choice in the matter, I might as well win it.
Jonathan.
What was that? I won't let you escape. You're very fast, but I'll catch you. They've all been butchered.
Never ceases to...
Good evening. Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity...
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Miss...
I will not...
Good evening, Miss...
Good evening, Doc...
Is there anything...
Really?
Unfortunate. Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen. As for me...
Good evening, sir.
What a blunder.
Doctor.
Good evening.
Do you require...
Do you know...
Well... Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Time with me.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in
I'm quite busy.
circumstances,
Do you need my...
Don't be...
Then you are lucky that
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your...
The patients are not full. They know we are overwhelmed.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you require...
I will be...
Nurse.
I'll try, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, nurse. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doc.
Do you need any...
I'm afraid...
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of info.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick off.
Goodbye.
It's safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
Goswicks came here in the first place.
Good evening, Mr.
Evening.
Soldier.
Not really. I don't think...
Goodbye.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
So many deaths. And what of my own life?
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
It is good to see you again, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm better than one might expect, Lady Ashbury. Dr. Swansea has asked me to investigate the recent disturbances in the hospital caused by skulls.
Really? What do you mean?
There is something ominous closing around me, Lady Ashbury. Something spies upon me from the shadows. Something cruel and wicked.
Whatever do you mean, Jonathan?
If Sean Hampton and Harriet were not the guilty parties, then who? I saw the bodies and the blood.
Your rebirth has not gone unnoticed, Jonathan. Be extremely careful. If you get in the way of an immortal's plans...
Do you suspect someone?
I don't know, Jonathan. I steer clear of vampire politics, especially whilst hunters roam the city's streets.
I discovered the most intriguing skull. An elderly woman answering to the name of Old Bridget, and a man who helps them remain hidden in London.
Old Bridget? Peculiar name, I've never heard of her.
According to Old Bridget, skulls can lead a peaceful existence like us. They are even able to nourish themselves by feeding on corpses and the flesh of the dead.
How vile. Please, Jonathan, let's change the subject.
Skulls of London have gone into hiding. Both mortals and immortals plot their extermination.
Yes. Skulls are the orphans of the vampire society. They are the shame of their genitors, a disgrace to the vampire that created them.
Goodbye for now.
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadogan fellow.
Jonathan, at last. I've been worried sick. Have you solved the case of our poor Sean Hampton?
Don't worry, Edgar. The reputation of Pembroke Hospital is secure. Sean Hampton was not the guilty party.
Is that true? Oh, good news. Good news indeed.
I found Harriet Jones. She's much the same old, embittered woman she was, only she's been made a skull. Her transformation did not go well.
Incredible. Well, why not bring her here? We could learn so much by studying her condition. It would be fascinating.
I doubt that. She can barely move. Perhaps we could learn more about the degeneration of skulls.
Perhaps. But she could also belong to a new species. We know so little of the laws that dictate vampire reproduction.
Were there any studies made by your order on the subject?
Not that I'm aware of. I will transmit your discovery to the Brotherhood's primate. He will be delighted.
What do you know of the Ascalon Club?
Not as much as I would like. There have always been rumors about a secret society of vampires operating in the interests of the British Empire, though I've never met a member.
I crossed paths with one, a terrifying creature going by the name of Fergal. He was sent by the Ascalon Club to exterminate the skulls of the East End.
By the stole, Jonathan. If vampires are eliminating their own progeny, then dark times are upon us. Darker than I've ever witnessed.
Do you think Lady Ashbury would know of them?
Jonathan, our beloved lady is not one for social dalliances, nor the assemblies of dark orders. She's a woman of superior taste and selective acquaintance.
Does the name Old Bridget ring any bells?
I've never heard of her. Why? A patient of ours? I must confess, I don't know them all.
No, it's just someone I recently met. A fascinating woman. I had thought that perhaps...
By the stole, Jonathan, you've met another vampire? I would appreciate an introduction, if that's the case.
A pleasure.
Over there! There's one of them vermin! Fuck, it's fast!
I cannot enter.
He's mine! I'll take it! Burn it, boys! Yeah!
It's locked, all right.
It's a leech! Kill it! Want some of this? Away with you! I order you to step back!
When I get back, I'll have a
It's a leech!
I'll kill it!
Die! Over there! This bloody leech!
Ain't safe here for a gentleman.
Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I say, whoever you are.
It cannot be safe for a blind man to live here alone. Let me enter, sir. I swear I mean you no harm.
Well, a voice never lies, and yours clearly is the voice of a gentleman. All right, Doctor, come on in. Tell me, how do you see the world these days? Wandering in this part of town at night, you're either brave or a thief.
It's locked.
What kind of gentle... So what is the name of my nocturnal visitor?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Rid. As I already explained to you, I'm inquiring about the epidemic.
Dr. Rid? The eminent surgeon? My God, I'd never have expected a brilliant physician like you to knock on my door.
You flatter me, sir.
No, sir, I am flattered. I read all your work when I still had my sight. I loved it. I'm Mason Swanborough, by the way.
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane?
I don't know who she is.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle elixir to the sick people of Whitechapel.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me, and I believe she could say the same thing about me.
And what else have you learned about me, Mr. Swanborough?
I know you assisted Professor Carell in France, and that you invented a new blood transfusion method based on his work.
Yes. Those were frustrating but exciting days. I loved it.
Yes, the thrill of research and discovery. This is what drives people like us, Dr. Rid. Oh, how I envy you.
Why does your sister feel so guilty about what happened to you?
Because she knows I'll never forgive what she did to me.
You run an illegal business with someone you hate?
I don't hate my sister. She looks after me, we have a good time. But I'm just not ready to forgive her.
You seem unwell, sir. Do you need my assistance?
Actually, I feel worse than usual. Can you give me something?
Yes. I can give you a little something that has been proven effective.
Thank you, Doctor.
Do you know Braille, Mr. Swanborough?
I'm no expert, but I learned it in my spare time, yes. Why?
I found a strange document entitled Cure for Blindness. It's written in Braille, so I thought perhaps it was yours.
Really? Is that some kind of sick joke? Let me see.
Here it is.
This letter seems authentic. And it actually refers to an experimental cure for blindness. You have piqued my interest, Dr. Rid.
Could it be of any use to you?
No. This page is just a part of a larger diary. I'd be glad if you could find the other pages.
Goodbye.
Tell me, how do you see the world these days?
Not a good place for a stroll.
There is something going on in this district. Good evening.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Shane.
Goodbye.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind. Can't you?
You...
Can I offer you?
Keep him.
There is a...
All right.
Goodbye.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Fancy buck.
You never... Do you need help?
To be honest,
I don't quite...
really.
Goodbye for now. Good evening.
It's fun.
Why did you...
I said...
You... Good evening.
It's fun.
Don't you...
Faith.
No doubt you're...
Blessed be your generosity.
I have heard enough. It's locked.
Made me blind.
As long as you have the money.
People who could use my help here.
Good.
Loretta, why...
I don't expect him to forgive me.
By making him a crook and a criminal.
Mason is totally capable of defending himself. Just leave us be.
Don't you think he needs to be somewhere he can receive a...
Mason wants to be useful. Can you understand that?
Goodbye. It's locked, all right.
One cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Crawl back to the hell that spawned you! He's mine! I'll take it!